the theme was so interesting, we also wanted to extend it. In other words, he had selected his people and we were one of them, but we said, oh, but we can even create a greater field of possibilities. Well, we imagined it as a kind of house of curiosities. The Casa di Scafoli is the house of shelves. And we had the idea that we have friends with whom we share feelings and emotions. Some of the friends are teachers, some of them are people we worked for, some worked for us, some simply friends. And we thought that the kind of DNA that we all share could be understood by looking at the things that touch us and move us. And so we asked every friend if they would fill a box with things that they cared about or things they didn't care about, which spoke to them.
I think we, as designers or people involved in the arts, are interested in material world. So what people collect really tells you who they are.
One of the great expressions that I always heard was true was Leonardo saying that things are more important than words.
We believe that because people collect these things, that when you looked at everybody's things together, you might see relationships from thing to thing.
Part of the inspiration was a museum, and it was the Museum of American Indians. And we used to go there, and you'd pull open a drawer, and you'd see all these pieces, these artifacts that were really interesting. And then you'd pull open another drawer, and you'd see all these, feathers or bracelets. And so this idea that you could have this magic box that would have wonderful things in it, I think was part of the inspiration for asking people to fill these boxes with things that they believed were important or magic pieces in their lives. We asked people to send things that inspired them, that made them, that were dear to them, that were important to them.
And interestingly, if you look at those drawers at the Museum of the American Indian, they were lesser objects. They weren't the most important and most beautiful objects. They were lesser objects, but all in all, they created a kind of a much greater image of who the people were than that spectacular headdress. That singular piece tells us only about the penultimate work, but these lesser pieces tell us really about the people, and that's what we believed would occur here. One of the simple binding ingredients are the gray boxes, which are almost like caskets, I suppose, or Donald Judd boxes. We wanted a kind of neutral piece that would be the frame in which people would explore their ideas. I think there are two kinds of projects. Some of them have taken the box as kind of a formal frame, almost like an architectural site in which to create a project. And then others have simply filled the site. So some are controlling the site and some are simply inhabiting the site. And I think in all ways, one way or another, architects do that. I think it's a common ground of artists. I think it's a common ground of architects and people who live in a visual world, a sensual world.
I love the theme because I think it asks everyone to consider what unites us as architects, what unites us as people interested in the visual world, and what unites us as human beings. So to me, it's less about the separation of or a sense of who is more powerful or who is a bigger star. It's more about those things that knit us together. So I love this sense that there's something underneath our feet. We're all standing on the same ground.